I think it's time we do a little walk and talk.
Walking and talking.
And we thought, well, rather than just us talking on our own, we thought we'd share with you some of the things going on in our minds and in our lives right now, and get you caught up on a few things. Let's go down that road. Well, we could go this way to avoid crowds.
Or we could go this way and wiggle our way down the sidewalk.
No crowds there. Or, oh, we do have somebody coming up behind us, so we're going to have to move. And there's somebody over there on a bench. Okay, so let's go. Which way should we go? Let's go this way.
All right. Found a place out here in the wilderness to walk.
Yeah. Hello, faithful people. I'm Orlean.
I'm Gary.
And I forgot my selfie stick. Finally got one, and I forgot it at home. Wasn't kind of planning on doing this, but we decided that rather than just talking between the two of us is going on, that we decided we would include you in on it too. So, we are still in Sparks, Nevada. Gary is still serving the vacancy here.
We had intended to be gone last week.
March 29th was Gary's last Sunday, and we were going to leave on April 2nd. But with the 30-day extension on the first 2 weeks,
Plus, we don't know what the states between here and everywhere else are doing for sure.
it's kind of a day-by-day thing. We're debating on what to do here as far as which direction to go when we do leave here. Right now, there's no rush for us to leave. We can still stay where we are. But we
like moving.
yeah, this has been really hard staying in one place for 3 months now. And not only staying in place in 3 months, but we haven't been in our home for 3 months. We've been in an apartment that the church furnished for us, which was great during the cold spell. And we've still had some cold spells. We've still had days where there's snow and things, and then it melts, and then we get a couple of days of 60s and lows in the 30s, and then it drastically changes overnight, and it's in the 40s for highs and 20s for lows. So we have been staying in the apartment, which is really unusual for us to not be in our home. And yes, we are very grateful for it, but you know, if you've done any traveling at all, that it always feels so much better to be in your own home. It always feels good to go home, right? And so that's kind of where we're at. We're anxious to go home. Now, another factor we have is that before we would move back into our RV, when the weather does settle down, is that we have to make sure that there's going to be dump stations open. And right now, they are. Some truck stops are closed across the country, which is making it very difficult for truck drivers. We know that there's a lot of campgrounds closed, state parks, national parks, even the hiking trails. I mean, we're in a good location here where we can be walking in areas where there's hardly anybody walking, because these are all new houses here that nobody's living in yet. And so we're able to safely do our walks every day. We've seen people across the way 2 lanes over and a boulevard between, and kind of jokingly said, "Are we 6 feet apart?" And they're like, "Yeah, I think so." And then, so it was, people are in pretty good moods, but it is amazing for having this isolation period that there are so many people that are not staying home. And I don't mean just walking. I mean, it's constant traffic on the 2 main highways that we see from the apartment. There's all these people that are coming and going all the time. It's just steady traffic all day long. I don't know where they're going or where they're coming from. You can't get groceries that many times. And the grocery store still doesn't have toilet paper.
Not for long anyway.
We are down to 2.5 rolls left. But one roll lasts us for about a week. So we should be good for 2.5 weeks, right? So we're not sure which direction we're going to go because our daughter, I think, would like us to stay here as long as we can, hoping that the border is going to open and we'll be able to go. But if we have to quarantine for 2 weeks when we go, where are we going to go? Canada, we've had a hard time finding boondocking spots up in that area in the past, so I don't know how we would do that, and the provincial parks are closed. So until those things all open up, there's absolutely no way we can go into Canada.
Plus, we don't know what the requirements will be for coming back into the States once we've been there.
Yeah, at least if we have to quarantine someplace coming back into the United States. We do have some friends in northern Washington, actually 2 or 3 friends in northern Washington that we could maybe stay in their driveway or something for a while if we had to. But that's all up in the air right now. The other thing is to go east, and that would go back to Wisconsin and see our family there.
Hoping that, of course, that when we get there, we will be able to see them.
Yeah, exactly, because things are getting more strict all the time. Now they're talking about closing the non-essential business parts of these bigger stores like Walmart and Costco and places like that. Now they're saying that a non-essential is clothing and electronics. But here's the interesting part. If you are working from home now because your business has you working from home, we can't order a new computer online because they're all out of stock. And all the kids that are home getting schooled now at home, the computers just went off the shelves like crazy. And so we have not been able to replace Gary's computer, which is on its last breath. And we desperately need to replace that. And we can't get a computer, and you can't get it online, and you can't get it by going to a store now either. Clothing, well, most people probably can get by with the clothing that they have.
Some people don't like wearing the same thing every day, or even, the same thing every month.
They are not minimalists. We have grown to do that. If you see a lot of our videos, you see us wearing a lot of the same things because we don't have a lot of room. We do know that there are some states going towards Wisconsin that are still open, but how long will that be? And the virus is practically non-existent in those states too. There's so much space between everybody there. So we would be going through some of those states on our way back, but when we get to a certain point, we don't know how much further we can go. And then what? We have Wisconsin license plates.
Yes, we do. And a driver's license.
And driver's license. And how do you explain that we are traveling? Because there's no recreational traveling allowed in most of the states. And you can actually get fined if you are out there. Now, if you're in a van, like is our ultimate dream to get into a van eventually, then it's a little easier, it's a little more inconspicuous. But when you have a 26-foot fifth wheel behind you, behind your truck, it's pretty obvious that you are with a recreational vehicle.
It also restricts, at least somewhat, where we can go. With a van, we could go down most any dirt road for a certain amount of time, but
yep.
We need to be able to turn around or back up.
Yeah, but even the van dwellers are having a hard time. There's a YouTuber that we follow. His name is Brian, and he lives in a van, and he has for several years. And he's been trying to find a safe place to hunker down for 2 weeks isolation. and he can't find a place, even on BLM land in California. He went down a 6-mile dirt road to get to an extremely isolated spot, and the sheriff made him leave and told him to, get this, go into town and stay at a city park. And that didn't make sense to Brian, and it didn't make sense to us either. So he left because he's a law-abiding citizen, but he just kept going until he found another spot where he could relax and stay for a couple of weeks. It's really, yeah. We're waiting to see if there's a sequel to his latest post. So what do? You can't stay isolated on extremely isolated land. Where can you go? So for now, we are here indefinitely. And we're just going to have to see what transpires by the end of April.
End of April, yep. 1st of May is our goal, is to be able to go somewhere, even if it's just to go somewhere, just to travel a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see the traffic over there. Just like that all day long. This is a pretty main road that goes between Spanish Springs and Sparks, and then beyond Sparks to I-80 and Reno. Can you see the sparkle there? Those are all cars. Cars, trucks, not a lot of semis. But it's like this all the time. You can see that. That's a 4-lane. All day long. So some things that have not even slowed down here really that we can tell is the construction, the new home construction. There's a lot of it. There's trucks in front of each of the houses every day. So that has not slowed down, which is good for the economy because somebody's buying something. They're buying building supplies. And we got to keep the economy going somehow. We don't normally do a lot of stuff online, but we're getting to the point where just to keep things moving, keep things going, we're going to be getting some of our stuff online more than we ever did before, just to help out somehow.
Well, a lot of it too you can't get by going to a store anymore. You have to order online. Some areas.
Yep.
Hopefully you can get somebody to deliver it, or you can pick it up at the curbside.
Yes, that's the other thing. A lot of curbsides have closed down at a lot of places too. You cannot pick up your stuff at the curbside anymore. So there's just a whole lot of changes here. Gary is still doing the services online. They're still pre-recording them now instead of live streaming, because then that way there's fewer people there. They only really need one person to videotape him, and then the musicians go in separately to do their part, and then that gets all put into one seamlessly beautiful video that they're getting really spoiled, because when they go back to live streaming it won't go quite that smoothly anymore.
That's a totally objective viewpoint, by the way. My wife.
Oh. Huh?
Yeah, you have a totally objective viewpoint of how well it's going. Thank you for that.
Oh! You mean you don't think you're doing well?
No, I think it's going very well.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay, I was a little slow. All right. Anyway, UPS, just saw a UPS truck. That's good. We had something delivered to our family in Canada that we can't go see, with baby clothes for our new granddaughter. And they got that very quickly through FedEx. So the UPS has just delivered an order to us today So those are still moving. That's good. But we just have to figure out what we're going to do. For the most part, we're just going to be hunkering down here for a while longer yet, hoping to be able to move back into our home. But it's about 7 miles to the closest dump station. And if we were to get pulled over because they see our Wisconsin plates, we could get into trouble. So we have to really be careful about that too. And
well, once we get to the 1st of May and all the restrictions are lifted, we'll be fine.
Yes,
oh, please.
Being very optimistic, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a day by day, right? Day by day. And in the meantime, just do whatever you can to boost your immune system and keep
Be a good neighbor.
Keep yourself healthy. Yeah, we are our neighbor. We've been sharing different recipes with each other, and she makes things and then she puts it out on her front porch, and then I pick it up and she tells me what to add to it to make some dishes that I probably wouldn't do. She makes some more fancy things than I do. I'm a pretty simple cook. And if you missed any of those, I've been posting more food things on our channel as well. Just healthy options that taste good.
Simply cooking.
Simply cooking. I like that. I'm a simple cook. I like simply cooking. Just share with us some of the things that you're doing. I know YouTube just recently changed how to put a comment on a video, which I'm so happy about. Because it used to be you had to scroll through other videos to get to where you could leave a comment. And now it's right under the video. So leave a comment and tell us what you think. Tell us what you're doing. Several of our RV friends that live full-time RV, and they're struggling. They're having a hard time finding places to go and stay. And one of the things that we are getting reports on is through Campendium. It's a free app that you can get on your phones or whatever, and it's giving us kind of a week-to-week reports of what's happening. They have a list right now of which states you're going to be going into, what campgrounds are open there, which ones are closed. That's a real helpful thing to have right now. If you haven't used that, it's campendium.com. I'll put a link to it in our description down below so you know what we're talking about. We have not checked on Harvest Host yet. We had just gotten a membership. So
we're going to use it on our way to Canada.
Yep.
And in Canada. And things changed.
Yeah,
so.
And we were going to use it on our way back to Wisconsin, which we may still be able to do. But if a lot of the wineries are closed, if a lot of the museums and tourist attraction type places are closed, then there isn't anybody to answer the phone to tell us if it's okay if we park there. So we have to look into that. But we do have a link down below for that as well, that you can save 15% on a Harvest Host membership if you click on our link.
Just really loving the sunshine. It's warm. Appreciate the warmth.
And the sun. That's one thing that this area has going for it, is it has sunshine. A lot of sunshine all winter. That's been great. Nevada has a lot of BLM land. And we're not positive, but we're pretty sure that all of this up over there and everything, that's all BLM. We did go look at some petroglyphs, and that took us on to part of it was BLM land. So if we could get away, even just to go for a couple of days out there somewhere, just for a change of scenery. But again, it all depends on dumping tanks and stuff like that. We'll just have to play it by ear. Another thing that we were hoping to get done while we were stationary was to do more work on the RV. And because it got cold there for a while, what we found out is that when you're removing decals off of aluminum siding, and we did a video on that, check that out, that it is different than taking it off of fiberglass. And we haven't been able to get back out there because when you use the heat gun on it, it heats it up for a bit, and then you take the heat gun off to peel it off. But the wind would come up and it would be a cool wind coming down from the mountains with the snow on it, and that would cool it off too quick, and we just weren't making any progress. So that's been on hold. But now it's supposed to be in the 60s for the next few days, and that seems to be the threshold of when things work and don't work with the heat gun and the decals. So we're really hoping to get a little bit of that done soon here too.
It's kind of my threshold also.
Yeah. Well, there's no isolation with the ducks.
Well, they're running away from us or swimming away from us.
But there's clearly not a 6-foot rule out there.
No.
Look at them go. Ooh, there's a mallard. Couple of them. All kinds of wildlife. You see the egret over there? I hope it's not blurry. See him? Or her? The egret just caught a fish a minute ago. Well, we're getting back to a more heavily trafficked area where there's a little bit noisier, so we're gonna try and end this here. Just wanted to say that we hope you had a blessed Easter, and remember that the first Easter there were no big family dinners or gatherings either, and the celebrations continued after the resurrection. So there's still hope that we can all get together again and be together as families and friends, and we can get back on the road again without worries. Please leave a comment down below. Let us know what you've been doing. If you're a full-time RVer, where are you staying right now? What have you been finding it to be a problem? What state are you in? You don't have to say your exact location, just say what state you're in, and let us know how that's working out for you. If you have any suggestions that we can share with our viewers, let us know that too. And hope you like this video. It was kind of a weird, just
walk around day.
Yeah. We hope you are doing well, staying safe, and
not getting overly scared.
And boost your immune system, because they never talk about that. Watch that video. I'll have a link to it at the end of this one. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't yet, and then next to it is a little bell. Ring the bell and you'll be notified every time new videos come up. And check out our Facebook page, Roads of Faith, for some extra features. And until next time, God bless.
God bless.